Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff, and happy Star Wars Day. It's not actually Star Wars Day on the day that I'm recording this, but hey, welcome to creating pre-recorded content, I guess. I love Star Wars. You may be aware of that or not. I have it in my channel description on YouTube. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars, and I always like to do something a little bit special for Star Wars Day, and today I found a Star Wars movies and TV shows tier list online, and we're gonna do it. Pretty excited about this. I think this will be a whole lot of fun. So I'm not gonna give too much of a preamble because this is probably gonna be a very long video already, but let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see here, we have a lot of Star Wars projects to go over. This is going to take a while, but I think it's going to be fun. Like most tier lists, we have an S through F, S being the best, F being the worst, and we also have a not watched segment, which we may end up using. In fact, we probably will. I'm actually going to get this out of the way. There we go. Awesome. Excellent thing. Now we can cook. Okay. Starting us off with the original trilogy. I mean, gosh, you guys already know these are going to be high. I can't put these low. So first off, A New Hope. I'm going to put A New Hope in A tier. It started it all. It's a classic. My favorite scene from A New Hope is the Mos Eisley Cantina. I absolutely love all the creatures that we see. I love the music. It really sets the tone for how I imagine Star Wars to feel. I absolutely love that with this one single location, we're introduced to a ginormous galaxy. I think that's really, really cool. And A New Hope itself is just an amazing film. Darth Vader, super threatening and menacing. The Empire comes across as incredibly dangerous. Our heroes are likable. Han Solo is a standout for me, but old Ben Kenobi is awesome, of course. And yeah, this movie set the tone for everything that came later, and it's definitely a good one. Next up, Empire. This is going in, not C tier. This is going in S tier. Absolutely, got to be S tier. Yeah, Empire is one of, if not the best, Star Wars movies ever made. And it is a very rare example of a sequel outshining its predecessor. I would say that Empire Strikes Back is one of the few movies that I would consider to be a perfect movie. I love the story. I love the writing. You know, we're going between a couple of different viewpoints. Luke on Dagobah, and then we have the Han and Leia storyline that's kind of more connected to the wider rebellion, fleeing from the Empire. Of course, we actually have a lot of the Empire in here as a storyline, namely their defeat of the rebels at Hoth, and then their efforts to track down the Rebel Alliance, Vader hiring the bounty hunters. Just a really, really fun movie. Definitely a classic. Some of the best Star Wars moments ever come from Empire. I love you. I know. I am your father. You know, just some great moments. I remember watching, when I was a kid, Empire Strikes Back was, I think it was the first Star Wars movie I ever saw. I know I saw them out of order, but I was at a friend's house, and we were watching Star Wars, and I was so enthralled by how menacing Vader was. And then, when he cuts off Luke's hand on Bespin and reveals that he's Luke's father, I was shocked. I was stunned, and I think that is one of the greatest plot twists in cinematic history. Everyone deserves the opportunity to experience that blind for the first time. I think it's hard nowadays. Everyone knows about, Luke, I am your father. But I'm glad that I got to experience that completely blind, no prior knowledge. And it stuck with me forever. Like, that made Darth Vader the epitome of evil in my eyes when I was a kid. And I was shocked that, like, the bad guys won in the movie. And yeah, just a great film. It's definitely one that you can put on and watch endlessly. All right, next up, Return of the Jedi, the final. I think most people would put Return of the Jedi in A or B. I'm putting it in S, and I'm actually putting it in front of Empire. Can I do that? Yeah, there we go. Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars film. I can admit that Empire is a better movie than Return of the Jedi, and I know a lot of people think Return of the Jedi is the weakest of the OG trilogy. A lot of people don't like the Ewoks or anything that happens on Endor. I love Jedi. It's my favorite Star Wars film. Everything that goes down in Palpatine's throne room on the second Death Star between Palpatine and Vader and Luke, all of that is peak Star Wars, in my opinion. The duel between Luke and Vader, when Luke gets the upper hand and he's striking his father down, and then he casts aside his lightsaber. He says, "I'm a Jedi, like my father before me." That gets me every single time. And to me, that is... We talk about how A New Hope set the tone for what the Star Wars galaxy feels like. Return of the Jedi, for me, is the epitome of what the Star Wars message is. It's good versus evil, and there's a little bit of good in everyone. It's always worth trying to find that little bit of good. And even if you can't find any good in someone, you don't want to stoop to the level of evil, right? You don't want to diminish yourself. You want to stay true to your principles. And I love Jedi. I really, really do. I enjoy the film as a whole. Like, even the Ewok stuff. I love Wicket and all the Ewoks there on Endor. I think, geez, I remember the first time I saw Jedi when Princess Nisa got killed in the battle. It was like, oh my goodness gracious, like they're killing these cute little teddy bears. No, I love Jedi. I love Jedi. I think all of the sci-fi elements and like the ship battles are cranked up to 11 from the previous films. Yeah, Jedi is awesome. It's my favorite Star Wars movie. That's the one that I watch the most. I like to put on Jedi and watch it around the holidays, especially. And the music. We didn't even mention the music. The music between the Luke and Vader fight. Goodness gracious. Absolutely gorgeous. Some of the best music in Star Wars. And that's a high bar. Star Wars has some pretty flippin' fantastic music. Alrighty, the prequel trilogy. So, prequels. Love them or hate them. Phantom Menace, I'm going to put in B tier. I love the Phantom Menace. Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn is a really, really cool character. Darth Maul, we'll talk about Darth Maul later. He was a very interesting, unique villain for this film. And of course, he comes back later and becomes one of the greatest villains in all of Star Wars, in my opinion. I think this movie got a lot of hate when it first came out. A lot of people hate Jar Jar Binks. And Jar Jar can be annoying at times, but I think at this point, looking back on these films, it's more of a, unique flavor to them, right? I'm not the biggest fan of Jar Jar. Some of the dialogue in this movie is pretty atrocious. That's going to be a theme going throughout the prequels. But I really enjoyed this film. I think it's a good one. The first time I watched it, I fell asleep, didn't get to finish it. The second time I watched it, I also fell asleep and didn't get to finish it. But then when I finally, buckled down and watched it, I enjoyed it. I really, really did. I do think the final fight between Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Maul is phenomenal. Of course, the music goes so freaking hard. Duel of the Fates is a banger. But there are some aspects of this movie that definitely hold it back. But it's still very solid, and I watch it quite often. Attack of the Clones, we're going to put in C tier. Attack of the Clones is the weakest of the prequels to me. But it has some really, really fun moments. I wouldn't say great moments. It has some fun moments. The duel between Dooku, Yoda, Dooku and Anakin and Obi-Wan before, and then Dooku and Yoda, I thought was really cool. Christopher Lee as Count Dooku, amazing. This was the movie where Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan really kind of came into his own. I love Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think most people do. He's an amazing character, top tier Star Wars character. Really, really great in this film, and then even better in the next one. Hayden Christensen gets a lot of hate for his portrayal of Anakin. I think a lot of it came down to the writing and stuff. Natalie Portman's great. Even though Mace Windu, played by Samuel Jackson, was in was in The Phantom Menace, this was the first one where you got to see some action. His purple lightsaber. I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, "Whoa, there's purple lightsabers," and that was really, really cool. These movies, like, I did not go and see any of these movies in theaters. We'll talk about the first one I saw in theaters, but I actually did not see either of these films until I was like a teenager, because I wasn't that big into Star Wars. We didn't watch a whole lot of movies, my family, when I was a kid, and then when I kind of got older, I started seeking them out myself. But yeah, I do enjoy Attack of the Clones. There's some good stuff, but it's definitely, I would definitely give it a C tier. Alrighty, Revenge of the Sith. Don't worry, it's not going in C tier. I'm going to put Revenge of the Sith in A tier. I'm tempted to put it in S tier. Ooh, it's like A. You know what? I'm going to put it in A tier above A New Hope. It's like A plus. Get over here, A New Hope. There we go. It's an A plus movie. Yeah, it's got some issues, right? Of course, it's got some issues, but I think that it is a powerful movie. For sure. The duel on Mustafar, yeah, over the top and crazy, but give me some of that. Hell yeah, I want some of that over top and crazy in my Star Wars. I think that the fall of the Jedi and the machinations of the Emperor really set the galaxy in a dark place, and it all felt very evil, which I know it's supposed to, but it adds a lot more context to just how powerful and dangerous the Emperor was, and by extension the Empire. I think it's a great movie. I feel like they wrap up a lot of things from the prequels nicely, and kind of roll some stuff over into the next film. One of the things that I've always thought was kind of weird about the prequels is I felt like Revenge of the Sith is 19 years before A New Hope. I always felt like that was a really short time span. Like, I obviously, like the very end of Return of the Jedi, where Anakin's Force Ghost appears. In the original cut of the film, he was an older gentleman, right? Old Ben in the original trilogy was a guy who was like in his 60s, and with the timeline that the prequels established, he's more like a dude in his 50s. I always felt like they should have made the time gap a little bit longer, but that's just kind of a nitpick of mine. Okay, moving on, the sequels. Okay, The Force Awakens. This was the first Star Wars movie I saw in theaters. I went and saw it with my dad and my cousin Austin for some kind of special event. I think it might have been Austin's birthday or something. And again, I've been familiar with Star Wars. I should mention with Revenge of the Sith. That was the other Star Wars movie that I saw the most when I was a kid. I already mentioned when I was younger, I had this friend who I had to watch Star Wars movies with. His grandma ran a movie rental, and we'd sit in the back sometimes and we'd watch movies, and those were his two favorites. We watched Empire and Sith a lot. This was the first Star Wars movie I saw in theaters, The Force Awakens, and I loved it. I thought it was great. Now, has hindsight soured it? Maybe it is kind of a blatant ripoff of A New Hope, but I'm going to put The Force Awakens in B tier. I don't hate this movie, and I think it set up a lot of really, really cool things. Now, it is hard to watch this movie in hindsight, knowing what came after in the sequel trilogy, but I just can't deny that feeling I had when I saw it in theaters for the first time. Finn was my favorite character from this movie. I thought it was so cool. An ex-stormtrooper wielding a lightsaber, wielding Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber, for that matter. I was super excited to see where they went with his character. Unfortunately, it went nowhere, but that's for later. I really enjoyed the humor. I thought the movie looked really, really good. I thought Snoke was super interesting. Kylo was interesting. You know, Han Solo's son turned to the dark side. Goodness gracious. It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. And I can watch it again and again and you know, kind of think back to that first time that I saw it. Okay, moving on to The Last Jedi. This one is hard for me. I think I'm going to put The Last Jedi in C tier. Some people might be expecting it to be way lower than that. I don't hate The Last Jedi. And actually, I'm putting it in C tier above Attack of the Clones. I would say Attack of the Clones is like a C, C minus. The Last Jedi is like a C plus B minus to me. A lot of people think that The Last Jedi destroyed Star Wars. It killed Star Wars. No, I think Rise of Skywalker did that. We'll get to that later. There's a lot about this movie that I don't love. The Canto Bight stuff, the Admiral Holdo stuff. A lot of that was not real great in my mind. But I really did enjoy a lot of the stuff with Kylo Ren, Rey, and Luke. A lot of people are upset with Luke's death, and as much as I would have loved to see him, you know, step out and face down the entire First Order with nothing but a laser sword, I did kind of, it grew on me, right? His passing grew on me, and the way that he did it grew on me. You know, the legend is more important than, you know, like any actual action he could have taken at that battle. Angry Luke, you know, sad, angry hermit Luke. I would have loved to have seen, I hope Star Wars does this at some point, but I would love to see Luke in his prime with his Jedi Temple. Him tossing away the lightsaber was a little bit cringe, to be honest. But I like the Force Dyad stuff. I actually really, really liked the fact that Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, killed Snoke. I thought that was awesome. You know, we were seeing the Darth Vader character take the place of the Emperor character. I thought that was a really, really awesome turn of events. I was really excited to see Kylo Ren be the main villain in the final film. I really enjoyed the reveal that Rey was a nobody. You know, there's always all these theories. Oh, she's a Skywalker. She's a Kenobi, this, that, and the other. I really liked that she was nobody. To me, that's a better message for Star Wars. You don't have to be descended from some great lineage to be important. It's the individual. It's the choices you make that makes you important. That's the effect that you have on the galaxy. It's what you do, not where you came from. And of course, they walked that back. But at the time, I thought that was the best thing they could have done for Rey's character. Rey is kind of a flat character. This was one thing that I thought was giving her a little bit of like, this will be something cool for her to, you know, not overcome, but this is something that she can use to propel herself forward into the future, I guess. Build a name for herself, carve out her own meaning. And of course, they didn't do that at all. This movie also completely assassinated Finn. Poe was really, really bad in this film. Not as bad as he is in the next one, but let's go ahead and go to the next one. The Rise of Skywalker, I'm putting in F tier. There is basically nothing that I like about this movie. I've only seen this movie 3 times. I saw it once in theaters, and then I think I saw it once at a friend's house, and I watched it once. No, I saw it once with my family on Disney Plus, and I watched it once by myself. I do not like this movie at all. There is nothing from the very beginning. The opening scroll for this movie when I was in theaters, and it talks about Palpatine returning. I was like, oh no! I hated that. Hated everything about that. But I was still kind of hopeful. And as every single second ticked by, I became less and less hopeful that anything good would come from this film. I guess the one semi bright spot would be uh, the I don't know, vision of Han Solo appearing to Kylo Ren. I don't know if it was a vision or if it was supposed to be a Force ghost. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. I guess that was kind of cool, but it kind of felt a little bit meh, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. I can't believe we see Luke as a Force ghost holding a lightsaber. I really thought, okay, we know that Force Ghost, we saw Force Ghost Yoda in the previous film. We see Force Ghost Luke now interacting with the physical world. And it's kind of, to me, it called back to when Darth Vader struck down Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Obi-Wan said, I'll become more powerful than you can ever imagine. I was like, finally, we're going to start seeing that, right? The Force Ghosts aren't just, guides. They don't just appear to our heroes and guide them through their struggles. They can actually interact with the world. And I was really, really hoping to see Luke be more involved in the final showdown. And he wasn't. We had the voices of a bunch of different Jedi from past movies and shows speaking to Rey when she's facing down the Emperor. I would have loved to see their Force ghosts. Like, okay, cool, we're hearing their voices. Awesome. Like, I don't really care. Let's see them. And then I really hated that it came down to, like defeating the Emperor came down to, one lightsaber not enough. Boom, 2 lightsabers. I really wish Palpatine didn't come back. I will say Palpatine returning makes sense for his character. Like, of course, he'll have like some kind of contingency plan, right? That's a very Palpatine thing to do. But it made no sense in the broader scheme of the sequel trilogy. I really hated that they made Rey a Palpatine. That was so freaking dumb. And again, it took everything away from what I thought was a really, really good development for her character in The Last Jedi, her being nothing. Ben Solo, like, his redemption arc, they did a Vader on him, right? He came back to the light and then immediately died because we don't want to have to explore, hey, this guy who like terrorized the galaxy is now a good guy. How's the rest of the galaxy going to react to that? Don't want to touch that. Snoke, you're revealing that Snoke was basically this little puppet that Palpatine was playing with. I didn't really like that. The other thing is like the Aftermath books. We're not going to get into books in this video, but I enjoyed the Aftermath trilogy of books, and there was this hint of like something out in the unknown regions. I was like kind of calling to Palpatine, and he could sense this dark presence. And a lot of people, myself included, kind of, I don't know, theorized, but like just assumed that was Snoke, that he's some thing from beyond, who's not a Sith, who's kind of something else, and they kind of just shot that in the foot. So I don't know. I could go on forever about this movie. I'm trying to keep this quick because we do have a lot to get through, but I do not like this film at all. And this film to me is what kind of killed some modern Star Wars. Okay, next up, Rogue One. Rogue One. I absolutely love this film. I think Rogue One is going to go, I kind of want to put it in S tier. A tier might be, I feel like if I put Rogue One in S tier, I have to put Sith in S tier too, because I kind of like them both the same, but for different reasons. You know what? We're going to put Rogue One in A tier. Do I like Rogue One more or less than A New Hope? Oh, gosh, that's a tough one. Actually, I like it where it's at right now. I like it where it's at right now, behind Sith and A New Hope. Rogue One, the first standalone Star Wars movie. Nothing in Star Wars is standalone. I love this film. I absolutely love this film. To this day, I love this film. The music, the cinematography, the story, the characters. This has a huge cast, but I feel like every single character was given their due. And this is the first Star Wars movie that feels like a war film. It really dives into different aspects of the rebellion that we'd never seen before. You know, some of the darker aspects of Saw Gerrera, as well as some more of the, you know, on the ground, nitty gritty sacrifices that people make in order to fight oppression. I thought it was just really, really great. I remember in theaters when there was the Vader hallway scene. Oh my gosh, that was so freaking hype. Absolutely loved it. CGI Tarkin and Leia were a little bit weird, but you know, I don't think that really takes away from the story at all. Yeah, just a great film. I absolutely love this film. I don't really have much more to say. It's just really freaking solid. Okay, Solo, most underrated Star Wars film there is. I'm putting Solo in B tier. Ooh, okay, we need to do some rearranging of B tier. Okay. Here's B tier. Solo is B plus. Force Awakens is like a B, and Episode 1, Phantom Menace is like a B, maybe leaning towards B minus. I like Solo a lot. I think it's a really fun movie. I think that what's the guy's name who plays Han Solo? Alden Ehrenreich? Can't remember his name. I'm bad with names. I thought he did a good job. I thought it was a really, really fun movie. It gave us a lot of context for why Han is the way Han was. And it's not like we really needed to see any of that. It's not, when this movie was first announced, I was like, wow, do we really need a movie about Han Solo? I felt like, I remember saying to one of my friends, the only reason they're making this is so that they can have a Solo film called Solo, right? And there's some hit and misses in this film for sure, but by and large, I think it's a really fun action flick set in the Star Wars universe. I really, really love the world building in this movie. I love seeing Kessel. Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good time. It's a good time. Okay, we're going to get into some of the TV shows now, starting with The Mandalorian Season Uno. Where should we put this? I'm going to put Season 1 of The Mandalorian in A tier. I really enjoyed it. It's a Western in space, right? I love Western films. I think that it's always a good idea to have like the tall, dark stranger who has a soft side in a Western. Like I like that a lot. Of course, the Mandalorian picking up Grogu, baby Yoda. Very, very cool. I loved the cinematography. I love the music. I love the acting. Again, this was a film that was just kind of a series that was just kind of a celebration of what makes Star Wars great. It was a celebration of the Star Wars universe. I loved the planet hopping, all the aliens we saw. That's something that I really, really love in Star Wars. And I love seeing aliens. I love it when the Star Wars universe feels like a lived-in universe with all kinds of different cultures and traditions and species. That's one of the things I love about Star Wars. It's in a galaxy far, far away. And the more that we can be reminded that this is not Earth, the more I like it. And that's what sets Star Wars apart. Like, Star Wars isn't really sci-fi. It's fantasy, right? It's a space opera. And Star Trek, I enjoy Star Trek, but I'm not really a Star Trek guy. And part of the reason is because, you know, it's like, you know, set with people from Earth exploring, you know, our universe, which is fine, but I love seeing a different universe, a galaxy far, far away. So, yeah, Mandalorian Season 1, really great. Had a ton of fun. Mandalorian Season 2, I think it, as a whole, Season 2 was not as good as Season 1 when it came to, like, the writing, acting, things like that. I think some of the plot points were a little bit weaker, but it also had some of the strongest moments from the entire season. So I'm putting it in A tier as well. And actually, I think I'm going to move it in front of Season 1. I think I enjoy Season 2 better. Boba Fett I thought was really cool in this show. Bring Boba Fett back was something that I was, you know, always a fan of. I thought that was really sweet. get Tamura Morrison back playing his most iconic role. Bill Burr's character, oh my goodness, what was his name? It's completely blown. I just had it. Starts with an M. Anyways, his character, really cool. The scene, the episode, I think it's called Juggernaut, where they're stealing the big Juggernaut from the Empire, and Mando and Bill Burr's character are talking to that just awful imp, and he, goes off on him and shoots him. I thought that scene was so good. Bill Burr was so good in this show. The Mandalorian's character arc, being willing to be at odds with his code, his creed, in order to save Grogu, I thought was really, really cool. Moff Gideon, of course I'm a fan of Moff Gideon, but Giancarlo Esposito, really cool actor. I've actually met him. He's a cool guy. He brings a lot of gravitas to this role. I love the Dark Troopers. Of course, the last episode when Luke shows up and just goes ham on all these Dark Troopers, I thought that was amazing. That's the best Luke we've seen in a long time. And it was very in character for Luke. He's fighting robots, not people. I don't think a post Jedi Luke would be, okay, just mowing down, dozens and dozens of living beings. But robots, yeah, he can kind of let loose and show just how powerful he is. I thought it was a good season. Star Wars, there's a lot of goofiness in Star Wars. There's a lot of, like bad dialogue and things like that. But I'm willing to put up with stuff like that because I just love this world. I love this universe so much that for me, the important thing with Star Wars is, how does it make me feel? Does it make me feel happy? Does it make me feel Star Warsy? And Mandalorian Season 2 absolutely did. Okay, Mandalorian Season 3, straight into F tier. Do not like it. And actually, we are going to put it above Rise of Skywalker, I guess. But yeah, F tier. Did not like Mando Season 3. There was not much about Season 3 that I enjoyed at all. It felt very rushed. I felt like there was a lot of character regression for Din Djarin, the Mandalorian. I felt like the whole bringing Grogu back into the fold was a mistake. We'll talk about that more with Book of Boba Fett. But I did not enjoy Mandalorian Season 3 at all, which was a big shame. I feel like it kind of shat all over what came before. Bo-Katan's a character that I thought, I've always enjoyed. I don't know if enjoyed, but I've always been cool with Bo-Katan's character. I think she's interesting, at least. Did not find her very interesting in this series at all. And, just really bad. Felt like Din Djarin got kind of sidelined. The Darksaber plot didn't really make any sense. I mean, that's a plot line that's been running since Season 2 of the Clone Wars. And I just felt like they didn't really wrap it up nicely. Having the Darksaber be destroyed by Moff Gideon, I think took away from the message that, Bo-Katan's going to try to unite the Mandalorian people as a people, not like, I have the fancy sword, I'm your ruler, She's trying to get them away from these kind of archaic traditions and more into a, homogenous group of people who choose to be there. And having Moff Gideon be the one that destroys the Darksaber kind of took that choice away, kind of made it feel a little bit less Bo-Katan's kind of decision or whatever. And I just didn't really like it. Did not enjoy Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Okay, Obi-Wan Kenobi show, D tier. Did not like this show at all. Super excited for this show. I was over the moon. Again, I love Ian McGregor as Obi-Wan. I was super excited to see Hayden Christensen come back as Anakin / Vader. Kind of get a redemption, years and years after the prequels ended. But this show had a lot of problems for me. Number one, I thought it was ugly as hell. The colors were just really, really dark. The lightsabers looked cartoonish, in my opinion. There were some interesting sets. I liked seeing the Fortress Inquisitorius, where the Inquisitors were. We've seen that in like the uh, Jedi Fallen Order and that series of video games. We've seen it in the comics and stuff. It was cool to see that. It was cool seeing some of the Jedi bodies that they had down there. Like that was really eerie. Saw Tara Sinube. I'm not sure who else was down there. Tara Sinube was the only one that I recognized. We saw Tara Sinube. It's a character that I've always had a soft spot for. One of those characters that appears in one episode of Clone Wars, and you're like, oh, I like that guy. You see him in the background, you're like, hey, Tara Sinube. But there wasn't a whole lot about the show to praise. The idea of getting Obi-Wan off of Tatooine when he's supposed to be looking over Luke always ground my gears. I was like, they need to have a really good reason for him to get off of Tatooine. Leia being kidnapped, yeah, that's a good reason. The actress who played young Leia, I thought did a good job. But yeah, I don't know. Even the final duel between Obi-Wan and Vader, the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, that was pretty badass. And I've tried to watch it since, and the colors are so bad, and the fight just really isn't that good. They did the whole, cutting away half of Vader's mask, which had already been done years earlier in Rebels, and much better, I might add. I just wish they'd done something different. This whole show felt unnecessary. It felt redundant. I know a lot of people hate on Reva. I don't hate Reva. I just wish she wasn't a huge part of this show. I wish she wasn't as big as she was. The whole people like people getting stabbed by lightsabers has become really, really bad in Star Wars these days, and it all started with this show. I don't know. I don't know. I guess the best part about the show was Vader grabbing the ship full of refugees for a little bit. I mean, I guess that was kind of cool. But yeah, I felt like this show was a big disappointment, especially for a show that's featuring some of my favorite characters ever. Yeah, I just did not like it at all. It was also very slow. Oh, and the Inquisitors sucked. They sucked. The Grand Inquisitor, I don't know. It's hard to say one of my favorite Star Wars characters. I enjoy the Grand Inquisitor. I think he's a badass. You did not get any of that from this show. Like, he did not feel like the same character from Rebels, which was a shame. Alrighty, the Book of Boba Fett. Ooh, I don't know what to do with this one. This show has some interesting concepts and interesting moments. It's definitely got some F-tier moments. I think I'm going to put Book of Boba Fett in C tier. Ugh, it's either a C. It's a C minus or a D plus. We'll put it in C tier for now. Do I want to do that? Oh, I don't know. Actually, you know what? We're going to bump it down to D tier, but we are going to put it above Kenobi. Book of Boba Fett. I like Boba Fett as a character. I don't think he's as compelling as a lot of other characters, but I was really excited to see kind of a gritty criminal underworld show from Star Wars. This was not it. This show was respectful, Jabba ruled with fear. I intend to rule with respect. It's like, okay, all right, Boba Fett, whatever. They interrupted this show to do, Mandalorian season 2.1. That whole, they completely broke away from the Book of Boba Fett show to have an episode about Mando. And then we go to Luke and Ahsoka training Grogu. And all that stuff was fine. Part of me feels like Disney told the creatives over at Star Wars, we need to get Grogu back with the Mandalorian because he sells lots of toys. We can't have them separate. I think the original plan was probably to have them separate for at least half a season of the Mandalorian, but that didn't happen. This show, live action Cad Bane was pretty cool to see. Cad Bane needs to actually kill people in his shootouts, though. He had a shootout with the Marshal. Oh my God, what's his name? Starts with a C. Cobb Vanth Had a shot with Cobb Vanth, but then it's revealed that Cobb Vanth is fine. You know, chilling in the back of the tank. Okay, cool. In the Bad Batch, which we'll get to, Cad Bane has a shootout with Hunter, and you know Hunter's wearing armor, so you know that kind of makes a little more sense. But like, geez, Cad Bane's fast with his gun, but he is not accurate. I don't know. This show had some interesting moments. Boba Fett riding a Rancor made no sense, but it was kind of badass to see. But overall, like this show is just kind of boring. It's definitely, yeah, we'll give it a D plus. It had some fun moments, but I don't think it's great. Andor. Okay, so season 2 of Andor is currently playing. The second arc is coming out tomorrow night. From the time I'm filming this. No, stop. Andor. I love Andor, right? Like, who doesn't love Andor? But something I've said is I love Andor. Andor's a great show. Andor might be one of my favorite TV shows. It's up there with me for, like, my favorite TV shows are Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Daredevil, the Netflix Daredevil, and probably Andor and some of the other shows on this list that we'll get to in a little bit. I love it. As a show, it's great. I love the writing. I love the cinematography. It's a great show. But I'm not sure that it scratches my Star Wars itch the same way that some of these other projects do. It's definitely a well-made show, but I like it more for the competency that it's made than I do for the fact that it's a Star Wars project, I guess. One of my biggest complaints with Andor is I think that every single character is more interesting than Cassian Andor himself. I kind of wish they'd called the show something else. Like, he could be a character in it, but like, I don't know. I feel like if they just called the show, I don't know, Sparks of Rebellion or something like that, I don't know. I feel like it would have been more interesting. This is season 1 of Andor, but we're going to, include season 2 is not over yet, so we're not going to include season 2. I am going to give Andor S tier. Because it is that well made, but it's at the bottom of my S tier right now, just because the reasons I love Andor are not the same reasons that I love a lot of other Star Wars projects. I hope that makes sense. One of my big complaints with Andor is there's not enough aliens. That's one of my big complaints with the sequel trilogy too, is a lot of really, really cool aliens, but like, we never saw any Rodians or Twi'lek. I think we saw one Twi'lek maybe. No Rodians, no Twi'leks, no Togruta, no Zabraks. Like, any of these like classic kind of Star Wars species were kind of missing, and I feel that gap in a lot of Star Wars projects. Okay, Ahsoka. Oh, Ahsoka. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, Ahsoka is my favorite Star Wars character. I absolutely love Ahsoka Tano. I think she has one of the most complete and satisfying arcs in Star Wars. This show was not it. I like Dave Filoni for the most part. I do not think he's a very competent live-action director. I think that this show should have been a 20-episode animated series. The 8-episode live-action, it just didn't work. The cinematography or the choreography for some lightsaber fights just didn't really work out for me. I love Rosario Dawson. Okay, I do. I thought she was fine as Ahsoka and Mando. I really, really don't like her as Ahsoka in this show. The girl that plays Sabine I thought was fine. Not a huge fan of Sabine's arc in this series. The dude that they have playing Ezra, spot on. They nailed it. Perfect casting. Absolutely love that. No complaints from me. The most interesting part of this series was Baylan Skoll, and even then, like, Baylan and Shin Hati, they were interesting, but they weren't, like, captivating, I guess. I like the whole traveling to Peridia. I love Star Wars stories that get a little bit weird, a little bit funky. So yeah, going to a planet of Night Sisters, like the Night Sister homeworld, way out in the unknown regions, that's cool. That's really, really cool. But I don't know. This show has potential. I think one of the reasons why I'm so upset with the show is that I was so excited for it going before it came out. I'm going to put this show in D tier, behind Book of Boba Fett but in front of Kenobi, I do think Kenobi's worse. Ahsoka at least had some interesting ideas and some kind of fun, especially someone who's a huge fan of Rebels, as we'll see here in a little bit. There's a lot for me to kind of appreciate about the show, but it was not good overall. Okay, The Acolyte. This one's gonna be spicy. I know a lot of people hate The Acolyte. I do not like The Acolyte. I don't hate it. It's not good. I saw it once. I have not rewatched anything from The Acolyte since it was coming out. It's definitely going in D tier. I have to put it above Kenobi. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I really don't like Kenobi. But Acolyte's probably... Ugh. Yeah, we're going to put Acolyte in D tier behind... I don't know. Actually, I'm sorry. We're putting Acolyte above Kenobi. I really, really hate Kenobi, guys. Obi-Wan Kenobi was a bad show. Acolyte was... it had some bad moments. I actually thought that the fights were pretty fun. I enjoyed a lot of those. The story was not engaging at all. Like, I had everything figured out. I was watching with some of my roommates, and I had everything figured out by the end of episode 2. And I turned to one of my roommates and I said, okay, so they're twins, the one that, survived the fire, blah, 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 blah. She's being trained by a Sith who is this guy that, the little nerdy guy that we thought in the potions guys, like he's the actual Sith and blah, 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 blah. And I was correct for most of this stuff throughout the season. Had some fun moments, I guess, but overall it was very bad. I thought it looked a lot better than Kenobi, though. It definitely looked a lot better. Okay, moving on to Skeleton Crew, the latest show that has come out and been completed. I am throwing Skeleton Crew up in B tier, behind Phantom Menace. Actually, yeah, right. Oh, actually, I don't know. I really enjoyed Skeleton Crew. I really, really enjoyed Skeleton Crew. A couple of episodes were a little bit slow, but I really loved the whole Goonies in space vibe. I love pirate stories. When I was a kid, my favorite book was Treasure Island. One of my favorite films when I was a kid was Disney's Treasure Planet. That film is still a freaking banger. Not enough people give that film the credit it deserves. Love that film. I'm a huge fan of pirates. You throw pirates into the Star Wars universe, you throw pirates into space, you got me. I am all in. I love treasure hunting. I love Lost Planets. I love mystery stuff like that. There's a lot on the show that I loved. Actually, geez, I think I'm going to bump Skeleton Crew. Oh, goodness gracious. This is tough. I'm actually thinking maybe I should have Phantom Menace in front of... You know what? We're going to leave Skeleton Crew where it's at. Skeleton Crew and Phantom Menace are both like... We'll call... Yeah, I don't know. B- seems harsh. We'll leave them in... They're Bs. They're solid Bs. I love Skeleton Crew. I absolutely loved it. Smee was one of my favorite droids. SM33, my bad. But yeah, I thought it was a great show. It was fun. It was lighthearted. I thought Jude Law's character was really interesting and compelling. I thought it was a good, heartwarming show. Reminded me of Amblin Entertainment, which is what the creator set out to do. So I was pleased. I was happy with it. Alrighty, the original 2003 2D animation Clone Wars series. Fun. I'm going to put it in B tier as well, behind Skeleton Crew. It's fun. It's got some great moments. Dirge is crazy, interesting. Grievous is badass in this show. Not canon anymore, but it's a fun show. I enjoy it. I've seen it through a couple of times. It's good, but I don't really have much more to say about it. The Clone Wars movie. We are going to put the Clone Wars movie in C tier. Nothing remarkable. I don't think it's bad, but it's like... I'm never going to watch it. I definitely don't think it's as bad as some of the stuff we have in D or F tier. It's not great. Don't get me wrong. But it's watchable, and it gave birth to some great Star Wars content, which we're about to get into. It's definitely a C-. It's at the bottom of C tier. Okay, Clone Wars Season 1. Oh gosh, I'm going to have to start thinking about, like, what were the big arcs in Season 1? Was a Holocron Heist Season 1 or Season 2? I'm trying to think. I remember the opening for Season 1. It was Yoda and clones going to convince the Trandoshan king, not Trandoshan, the Toydarian king to join the Republic. It had some good moments. I'm going to put it in C tier above. Actually, I'm going to put it above The Last Jedi too. No, you know what? We'll put it between The Last Jedi and Attack of the Clones. Some solid moments. Some solid moments for sure. Season 2 of the Clone Wars. Let's see here. I might actually have to look up. I may have to look up some of the some of the episodes from these series to refresh myself on the arcs. In fact, we're going to do that. Okay. I refreshed myself on what was going on here. Okay, so Holocron Heist is the start of Season 2. I can't remember if it was the end of Season 1 or start of Season 2. It's the start of Season 2. That's a fun arc. Season 2, the episode that I was really thinking of was the Rookies episode, where Heavy sacrificed himself to protect a Galactic Republic base. That's in Season 1. I thought it was in Season 2. That's in Season 1. That's solid. I think we're going to leave Season 1 where it's at. Season 2 has Geonosis, which I think is really, really awesome. We're going to put Season 2 of the Clone Wars. I'm going to put it in B tier above the original Clone Wars. But behind Skeleton... Actually, we're going to move it above Skeleton Crew, too. Yeah, I like Season 2 of the Clone Wars. I thought it was fun. Season 3. Oh, Season 3 has some cool stuff. Season 3 has the Mortis arc. Season 3 has... Season 3 has some good stuff. I'm trying to think what the standouts to me for Season 3 were. Oh, Season 2 also has the introduction of the Darksaber, so that the Mandalore stuff in Season 2 is really good. Yeah, Season 3, I think we're going to put Season 3 up there with... Yeah, we'll put it in front of Season 2. I like Season 3. It's been a while since I've rewatched Seasons 1, 2, and 3 of the Clone Wars. I need to go back and do that. Season 4 of the Clone Wars. Maul comes back. We got a lot more Mandalorian stuff going on. I think I'm going to put this up in A tier. Yep, go away. Yeah, Maul's return was something that... when I first found out that Maul was coming back in Clone Wars, I was like, that's kind of lame. Just let them be dead. Like, oh gosh, I got to resurrect people. I'm so glad they did. Sam Witwer's performance as Maul is incredible. Maul definitely became one of the coolest Star Wars villains ever. Really, really awesome. There's some other good things from Season 4. The Umbaran arc with Pong Krell. Definitely a hard hitter. I'm going to put Season 4 of Clone Wars actually above Mando Season 1. I really enjoyed Season 4. Season 5 of the Clone Wars, incredible. The Maul stuff was good. Maul taking over Mandalore was really, really awesome. Kind of wrapped up Kenobi and Satine's arc, which I thought was really powerful. The final arc with Ahsoka being betrayed by the Jedi and leaving the Order, that scene where she's walking away from Anakin, the music that's playing, so strong. Absolutely love that. And something that I love about the Clone Wars as a whole is how much nuance and context this show added to the prequels. After watching the Clone Wars, you go back and you watch the prequels, it's so much different. It makes you feel so much more connected to what's going on. You understand things a little bit more. You've seen some of the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, it's really awesome. It's really, really awesome. Plus, we get to see Sidious in action in Season 5. So Season 5 of the Clone Wars, I'm going to be putting... let's see here. I'm actually kind of going to go S tier. I mean, I enjoy watching season 5 of the Clone Wars a lot. Like I'll watch it all the time. I love season 5 of the Clone Wars. Something I guess I forgot to mention is the Night Sister stuff. It's that starts in like season 3 through season 4. I like all that stuff too. I like Dathomir as a planet. Yeah, there we go. The Lost Missions, aka unofficial Clone Wars season 6. The 5 storyline here. I also watched the Lost Missions again a lot. The 5 storyline, really, really solid. I feel so bad for 5s. The music in this season 2 stands out to me as like really, really good. Kevin Kiner, I believe, does a score for these. Very, very solid. The animation's really, really good in seasons. Starting season 3, the animation gets good. Season 4, season 5 are really good. Lost Missions, very, very solid. We'll see in season 7 it gets just out of this world. Yeah, the 5 storyline from Lost Missions I really, really enjoyed. The Sifo Dyas stuff with Anakin and Obi-Wan trying to investigate the death of Sifo Dyas and getting this close to uncovering the plot of the Sith, I thought was really, really fun. Mother Talzin comes back. We get an arc where Jar Jar and Mace Windu are teamed up. Like, what a pairing. Jar Jar gets laid by a freaking princess. That's weird. But I like the Lost Missions. I like the Lost Missions a lot. We're going to move it up to, we'll put it as our A-. We'll put it at the bottom of A tier. I enjoy the Lost Missions. I think those are some fun arcs. Very, very important. Oh, and the other thing with the Lost Missions is Yoda's journey through the Force, meeting the Force ghost of Darth Bane, voiced by Mark Hamill, which is crazy. That is, like I said, I love when Star Wars gets weird. I love when Star Wars gets weird. And those episodes where Yoda is traversing the Force, meeting the Force priestesses, going to the Sith homeworld, like it's all very weird. I love it. I love it so, so much. All right, Clone Wars Season 7. The animation here is amazing. Now, the final arc, the Siege of Mandalore arc, is phenomenal. The showdown between Ahsoka and Maul in the throne room there on Sundari is absolutely breathtaking. This is like Clone Wars animation at the finest. I love, of course, I already mentioned Ahsoka's like one of my favorite characters. Ashley Eckstein, who plays her, phenomenal. I'm sorry, Rosario Dawson, but you'll never be Ahsoka. It's Ashley. The way that Ashley and Sam Witwer, like, the chemistry, even though it's voice acting, like the chemistry between them is so crazy cool. We get a lot of Rex. We get to see Order 66. Man, Order 66 just hits every single time. I love how that last episode is like interwoven between the events of Revenge of the Sith. It's just good. It's good freaking Star Wars. It's yummy. Mwah. I love it so much. We're going to put it in S tier above Clone Wars Season 5, but behind Andor. I love Clone Wars Season 7. The front half is a little bit awkward. The Bad Batch arc is fine. I enjoy it, actually. It's fun. It's kind of a classic Clone Wars adventure. But then the Ahsoka arc with the Marquez sisters is okay, but it's not that good. It does set up Siege of Mandalore a little bit, though. But yeah, Siege of Mandalore carries so hard. Okay, getting into Rebels. Rebels Season 1. Now, Rebels definitely feels more like a kid's show than the Clone Wars, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I am putting Rebels Season 1 in B tier between Seasons 2 and 3 of the Clone Wars. I really enjoy Rebels. I think that one of the strengths that Rebels has is that we're following this small family, basically. This small group of people in chronological order, like kind of through their adventures joining the rebellion. The Clone Wars bounced around a lot in terms of timeline. We were following different characters at different times. Rebels, smaller cast in some ways, and, more kind of personal, I guess, stakes. I really love Kanan Jarrus. Kanan Jarrus is one of my favorite Star Wars characters ever. We'll talk about that as we go on. But I really enjoy what this season sets up. I love the fun, like the episode where Ezra and Zeb steal a TIE fighter is awesome. And then it comes into play later on when they're going to rescue Kanan from Tarkin's Star Destroyer. I watched Rebels a lot. I really enjoy Rebels. I think it's like comfort Star Wars to me. Rebels Season 2. So when I was in high school, I actually bought Rebels Season 2 on DVD. And I watched it before Season 1. Why? I don't know. I was dumb. I love Rebels Season 2. I think it's incredible. Especially the final 2 episodes on Malachor, where we have the Inquisitors have tracked them down, Maul reappears, Ahsoka and Vader have their showdown. That fight between Ahsoka and Vader is 100 times better than the stupid-ass fight between Vader and Kenobi in Obi-Wan. It's so powerful. When Ahsoka slices open Vader's mask, can't speak, and she sees Anakin in there. It just, oh gosh, it pulls at my heartstrings. Vader in this season, it is phenomenal. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put Rebels Season 2 in A tier. I'm gonna put it above Mando Season 2. And I'm gonna put it above Clone Wars Season 4. Now we're gonna put it below Clone Wars Season 4, but it's close. It's really, really close. There's a couple of like kind of filler episodes in that season that I guess aren't amazing, but I love Rebels Season 2. Absolutely love it. Rebels Season 3, we get Thrawn. I enjoyed Season 3 a lot. I thought, the Dathomir stuff was fun. I'm always kind of a sucker for Dathomir. I love seeing Ezra kind of playing with the dark side. The consequences from the Season 2 finale really, really hit home in this season. Kanan being blind and kind of distancing himself from everyone. Ezra, trying to fill that void with the Sith holocron. Maul kind of trying to track down Obi-Wan Kenobi, eventually finding him. The duel they have in Twin Suns is amazing. I feel like it's a little bit awkward that Ezra facilitated that duel happening, but I'm fine with overlooking that. So much history between the two of them. The respect that Obi-Wan showed Maul after killing him was so good. The animation in this season is a step up. Thrawn, I thought, was very, very menacing. The way that he absolutely crushes the rebels at Atollon at the end of the season. If it hadn't been for Admiral Constantine, getting a big head, Thrawn would have probably, killed or taken General Dodaka prisoner, which would have been devastating for the rebels. They would have lost a ton of ships and things that are important. I mean, they lost Sato. I don't know. I love Season 3 of Rebels. Something else that was special to me about Season 3 is when it was coming out on Disney XD, my family was watching it every week. And we didn't have TV. We didn't have TV when I was a kid, but we'd drive to my grandparents' house. They had TV, and we'd go there I think it was Wednesday nights. And I remember the mid-season opening was on my birthday that year. It was the one where they go with Saw Gerrera to Geonosis. And I remember going and watching that. It was January. It was really, really cold. There was a little bit of a snowstorm. We'd go inside Grandma and Grandpa's house. We'd sit down. We're bundled up. And we're watching Star Wars Rebels. It's just special for me. Season 3 of Rebels. It's going an A tier above Mandalorian. It's going an A tier above Mandalorian Season 1 as well. But I think I'm going to put it behind Season. I don't know. Season 3 was really, really cool. I also liked the episode where Rex had the showdown with they kind of got to refight the Clone Wars. I think that was like episode 3 of the season. It was really, really fun. My high school yearbook quote when I graduated was, "Battles leave scars, some you can't see," from Kanan Jarrus. Love Season 3 of Rebels. Rebels Season 4, I thought was absolutely incredible. I'm putting it in S tier. Yeah, I'm putting it in S tier. We'll put it at the lowest spot. Nah, we're gonna put it above Clone Wars Season 5. Screw it. I loved Season 4 of Rebels. I thought the animation was beautiful. I thought the story wrapped up really, really well. I love how they leaned into the weird, campy goofiness that had been set up in some of the other episodes. The World Between Worlds is a little bit weird. I'm curious to see how that gets used in Star Wars going forward. We've seen it in Ahsoka. Definitely one of those weird fantasy elements of Star Wars that has to be treated correctly in different Star Wars mediums. But I love season 4. Ezra's sacrifice I thought was really, really powerful. That whole showdown with him and Thrawn on the ship, the Purrgil are busting in, the music is soaring. Thrawn shoots Ezra. Oh, it was so good. Kanan's sacrifice was amazing. The episode after Kanan dies, when they're shutting down the Jedi Temple on Lothal, and his presence comes to comfort Hera, I thought was just really, really sweet. The romance between Kanan and Hera, actually, I thought is one of the better Star Wars romances. I love Rebels. I have a huge soft spot for Rebels. The Star Wars Rebels shorts. These are fun. They're kind of inconsequential, but they're fun. I'm going to put them in... you know what? Yeah, I'll put them... I'll put them at the bottom of B tier. Yeah, I'll put them at the bottom of B tier. They're fun. They are what they are. Resistance season 1. I watched it. I did not really retain much. It was fine, I guess. We're gonna put it in D tier, probably after Book of Boba Fett. Resistance season 2. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put it above season 1. Maybe they should be bumped up to C tier. I don't know, like very low C tier. I don't know. The show was fine. I had a hard time with it. Star Wars Resistance shorts. I think I watched 1 or 2 of these, but I didn't see enough to really give it a grade. We're gonna put it in not watched. Bad Batch. Okay, I am conflicted on Bad Batch. Season 1 was fine. It was enjoyable. I'm gonna put it in B tier, above the 2D Clone Wars, the 2003 Clone Wars. We're going to put Bad Batch right there. Bad Batch Season 1. It was good. It was watchable. I felt like it had some slow moments. I felt like this whole show didn't really know where it was trying to go. Bad Batch Season 2. The Outpost is one of my favorite pieces of Star Wars media ever. I love that episode. I think it's so good. It's beautifully animated. The music is great, and the story is just really powerful. And that's the kind of small scale, not galaxy-wide repercussions, but character-focused stories that I think Star Wars sometimes overlooks. I loved that episode so much. There's some other things in this season that are good. The finale is strong. I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna put season 2 in B tier. We'll put it above, and I don't know, above or below Skeleton Crew. We'll put it below Skeleton Crew, just above season 1. Thought it was fine. Bad Batch season 3. I felt like wasted a lot of time. We're gonna put it below season 1. It was fine. The finale, I guess, was good, but I felt like it was like. The show felt rushed and so slow. It felt like they were rushing things and wasting time at the same time. The animation was beautiful. There was these really bright spots of amazing Star Wars, but there was also a lot of stuff I just didn't really care for. And so I think that this is a very just average B type of show. It was fine, I guess. It was fine, but there we go. Okay, Tales of the Jedi. I'm going to go ahead and put Tales of the Jedi. This was a series of shorts featuring Ahsoka and Count Dooku. We're going to put Tales of the Jedi as a high B. Whoops, wrong one. We're going to put Tales of the Jedi just above Phantom Menace. I thought it would... No, stay. It was fun. The Dooku stuff was definitely better than the Ahsoka stuff. It was good. Tales of the Empire. We're going to put... Oh, we're going to put it at the bottom of C tier. It was fine. I didn't care for the stories that much. I felt like they could have chosen better people. It was nice to find out what finally happened to Barriss. That was a big mystery for the Star Wars community for a long, long time. They wrapped up her story in an interesting way. I feel like they should have done like the Grand Inquisitor as one of the characters in this series, but it was okay. Definitely the bottom of C tier. Star Wars Visions. The first round of Visions. Oh, geez. This is an anthology series where a bunch of different animation studios, primarily anime studios, in the case of this one, came together to make something. I'm putting season 1 of Visions in A tier. We'll put it in the bottom of A tier. I really enjoyed a lot of the stories that came out of that. Season 2 of Visions has some of my favorite animated Star Wars ever. And we're going to put it in A tier above the Lost Missions. I'm a big fan of Visions. Again, I like when Star Wars gets weird. I love animated Star Wars. And I really like that. I mean, these are non-canon stories. And so the creators are given a little bit of free reign to tell the story they want to do and do it interesting. And maybe take a different perspective on Star Wars that we haven't really seen before. And I like that. The art style is really, really beautiful. The very first episode in Visions 2 is Sith, which I thought was really beautiful. I love the way that the colors were used. Just very, very cool. I like Visions a lot. Young Jedi Adventures, whatever. Have not seen these. Do not care to. Just put all those there. Star Wars Blips. Not sure what this is. We'll put it in not watched. Forces of Destiny. I did watch a couple of these episodes, and they were okay from what I remember. Nothing spectacular. We'll put those in C tier actually because I don't know. They were fine. I don't think they were amazing, but they were fine. Galaxy of Adventures. Have not seen. Didn't even know that was a thing. Star Wars Rollout. Have not seen. Galaxy of Creatures. Have not seen. Galactic Pals. Have not seen. Zen. This is like a little animated short with Grogu. I saw it. It was fine, but I don't think it adds anything. We're going to put it in C tier. Fun with Nubs. That's what I like to do on Friday night. You guys know what I mean? Have not seen that. The Star Wars Holiday Special. Have not seen. There's this running joke. My parents have been trying to get me and my siblings to watch the Star Wars Holiday Special for several years now, and it's like this running joke that we're just avoiding it. And so, like, just out of principle now, I can't watch the Star Wars Holiday Special. Just out of principle. Star Wars Droids. I've seen this a long, long time ago, but it was so long ago, I'm not even sure if I can put this on the list because I really don't remember anything about it. Same with Ewoks. We're going to put these in have not watched, even though technically I have watched them. I just don't remember anything about them. Caravan of Courage. I did watch this. It was interesting. It was kind of fun, I guess. It's kind of like, I don't know, 80s schlock. Not really, but like, I don't know, kind of reminded me of like, some of that stuff. We'll put it in C tier. Ewoks, The Battle for Endor. We'll put in C tier as well. Bottom of C tier. These are just fun. They're not good. Like, they're not good, but they're fun. They're a bygone era. Revenge of the Brick. I don't think I've seen this one. Put that there. Star Wars. I can't read that. We'll put this Lego one down here. Star Wars, The Padawan Menace. I have seen this. Star Wars is typically pretty funny. We're going to put it up in C tier above Forces of Destiny. We're going to put it above the Clone Wars. There we go. The Empire Strikes Out. I have not seen this one. Put it right there. The Star Wars Holiday Special. I have seen. This is an absolute blast. This is no notifications. No notifications. Go away. Go away. Thank you. Star Wars Holiday Special. Absolute blast. I love watching this with my siblings around the holidays. We're going to put it towards the bottom of B tier, I guess. We'll put it above the Rebel shorts. Terrifying Tales, I have not seen. Summer something, have not seen. The Yoda Chronicles, I have seen. I have watched the Yoda Chronicles. They're kind of fun. We'll put them in C tier above a Clone Wars movie. Droid Tales, have not seen. The Freemaker Adventures, I have seen. It's all right. We will put Freemaker Adventures in C tier as well. We'll put it kind of towards the bottom. The Resistance Rises, have not seen. All Stars, have not seen. Rebuild the Galaxy, I did start watching just recently. It's fun. We'll put it over here. All right, there we go. There is my ranking of every Star Wars TV show and movie. That took us an hour 15 minutes. Okay, that was better than I was expecting, I guess. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. I really hope we start seeing some better stuff coming out. Star Wars Celebration was just recently started in Japan. And there was some interesting stuff teased. The Maul Shadow Lord could be an interesting show. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in Star Wars. There's a lot of not good stuff in Star Wars. But, yeah, there we go. There we go. That's going to be it for today, guys. Big shout out to my channel members right here at the Cowboy level. I appreciate everything they do. If you want to become a channel member and get access to exclusive perks, there's a button down below that you can click to join. As for the rest of y'all, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment below, and subscribe. I've been Gideon, and may the Force be with you.